Dear family and friends, thank you for the opportunity to talk about Neil today. I am Ross Gillett. I have known Neil Sligar since we met at the Unifit Gym in Campbelltown way back in 2001, so for around 23 years. At the time, we both shared a passion for weightlifting, but with Neil pipping me with his amazing 110 kilogram bench lift. Neil was a great believer in vigorous exercise to stave off the debilitating progress of his Parkinson's disease. Neil would laughingly joke about the love-me-doos at the gym that spent all their time talking on their mobiles and building up their wrist muscles. Our friendship and mutual sense of humour developed from there. Neil also loved his rugby union and was an avid supporter of Sydney University and the Canberra Brumbies in the Super 12 comp. He would be stoked to know the Brumbies are currently in third place on the ladder. While I'm currently more rugby league than rugby union, I would nevertheless cheer through the games alongside Neil at our regular catch-ups at the Catholic Club in Campbelltown. To this day, I still really don't understand all the reunion rules, but Neil would always be sure to fill me in. I also went to my very first AFL game with Neil, a much better experience than watching on telly, I must say. Neil was a font of useful information on all things sporting history, and he never ceased to amaze me with his fun facts, such as who got the silver medal for the men's shot put at the 1952 Helsinki Olympic Games. Neil's interest in shot put was also in part due to his close friendship with Michelle Haig, now Barton, who herself was a shot putter. Neil was also heavily involved in the local community and was a supporter of Parkinson's in New South Wales, and I did my bit by cheering on Neil at the inaugural Parkinson's Unity Walk charity event. Neil was generous with his time, and he came with me to Canberra just so I could buy my car. Neil lived by himself at Escol Park, but he did inherit a stray cat, which he just loved to bits, and which he imaginatively named Pussy. There was definitely a soft centre to Neil, and he always asked about my mum, particularly in her declining years, which was just lovely. Neil was courageous. As he started to lose his voice due to Parkinson's, he decided on a somewhat risky operation in 2016 to install deep brain stimulation, which did improve things for him somewhat. Neil loved his son David and often boasted to me about his achievements, both in the judo ring and in the academic area. He would have cherished that recent trip with David to Canberra, Neil's spiritual home. After I moved to Brisbane in 2015 with my partner Elaine, it became more difficult to visit Neil. But whenever there was a family occasion in Sydney, we would also try to visit him. It was just what friends do. Elaine and I will never forget our visit with Neil in the aged care home, when to our surprise, and despite his obvious shakiness, Neil entertained us on the piano, and we had a great sing-song. Neil loved to belt out some tunes without warning. That was just Neil. Neil, I'll always cherish our time together, and I thank you for being a part of my life. And Neil, find yourself a nice comfy lounge up there in heaven and watch the Brumbies win their Super 12